Hello and welcome to the lecture of International Business Environment. This is lecture on Block 1, Unit 2, Theories of International Trade. In this session, we will going to have a discussion on the various theories which are contributed in the international trade. Topics to be covered today is Introduction, Objectives of Trade Theory, Ricardian Theory of Trade. In Ricardian theory of a trade, we will going to discuss on labor theory of value, autarky equilibrium, absolute advantage versus comparative advantage, free trade and gains from trade, terms of trade. So, when it comes to conclude on the theories of the international trade, after 1991, the foreign trade habits on its growth. They start introducing the international trade. At the same time, the different patterns are going to be used at that time. Trade theory at that time was basically conclude that what are the pattern of a structure to be in the trade? What are those products to be in the trade? So that is what the reason to introducing the trade theories. If we talk about the trade theories, the very first argument in the element theory is that trade will occur whenever it is profitability. That means when there is a profit, there must be a trade. That means trade is always there for the profit. The very essential purpose of the trade, or we can say that international trade, is to show that international trade exists and that it is beneficial. That means it is possible to be in the trade with the other countries, and yes, at the same time, it is very beneficial. The trade theory basically explains the pattern of a trade between the two countries. They gives us the pattern of specializations. They understand or give up the concept of mutual benefits. Whenever जब भी हम ट्रेड थ्योरी की बात करते हैं तो ट्रेड इंटरनेशनल ट्रेड थ्योरी बेसिकली इस तरीके की इंट्रोडक्शंस देती हैं कि ट्रेड एसेंशियल है दोनों ही कंट्रीज के लिए और दोनों ही कंट्रीज को बेनिफिट होता है जब वो इंटरनेशनल ट्रेड्स में आते हैं एंड यस एट द सेम टाइम देयर इज अ प्रॉफिट एंड देयर इज अ ट्रेड कॉन्सेप्ट. When we talk about international trade theory, they have two major goals to enter into the international trade. The very first is trade must be a beneficial. That means there must be a beneficial for the countries. When there is a benefit for a country, जब एक benefit country के पास होगा तभी एक country international trade में जाएगी और वो benefit किसी भी exporter या importer के लिए नहीं है. सिर्फ वो benefit जो है वो पूरे nation के लिए है. यानी कि वो advantages जितने भी एक exporter या importer gain करेगा उससे ultimately एक nation को ही help होगा. That was the first goal of international trade theory. Second goal of international trade theory is minimum conditions for the existence of a trade. That means to show that yes, there is a minimum conditions to be in the trade. Now, what are the objectives of trade theory? Trade theory के ultimate objectives क्या होते हैं? The very first objective of trade theory is to explain the pattern of a trade between the two countries. Yes, ये थ्योरीज हमें एक आइडिया देते हैं कि हम किस पैटर्न पर एक ट्रेड को अकर करेंगे. यानी कि दो कंट्रीज के पास एक पूरा स्ट्रिक्ट पैटर्न होता है और उस पैटर्न पर उस थ्योरी पर वो काम करेंगे. सेकेंड ऑब्जेक्टिव इज टू गिव अ पैटर्न ऑफ स्पेशलाइजेशन. जब एक कंट्री एक्स स्पेशलाइज्ड होगी एबीसी प्रोडक्ट बनाने में तभी वो उस प्रोडक्ट की डीलिंग जो है आउटसाइड कंट्री कर सकती है. यानी कि व्हेन दैट कंट्री इज फुल फ्लेज्ड एंड स्पेशलाइज्ड ऑन दैट पर्टिकुलर प्रोडक्ट देन ओनली ही दैट कंट्री कुड एंटर इनटू द ट्रेड थ्योरी. थर्ड ऑब्जेक्टिव टू शो दैट इंटरनेशनल ट्रेड इज म्यूचुअली बेनिफिशियल टू द ट्रेडिंग कंपनी. यस, this is not a benefit for a country X only. This is beneficiary for that trading countries. यानी कि दोनों ही countries के benefit उस केस में होने चाहिए. So there was the three objectives of that trade theory. First, the pattern, and yes, at the same time, specialization, and the third one is to mutual benefit. Now, the very first theory of international trade Ricardian theory of trade. It's a very classical theory, and this theory is basically working on the comparative advantage. This theory basically talked about that yes, one country must have certain specialized goods to be worked in. That country is full-fledged with that goods, then only he can enter in the particular trade. But there must be a competitive advantage for that. Now, what competitive advantage is? Competitive advantage is that when the company or a country is able to produce that good at a lowest price and at a maximum level which another country can't do in the required time. So that was comes into the competitive advantage. So in that case, एक कंपनी तभी ट्रेड करेगी जब उसके पास एक कंपैरेटिव एडवांटेज है और उस कंपैरेटिव एडवांटेज के बेसिस पर ही वो आगे अपने गेन्स और बेनिफिट्स को लेकर आ सकती है. एंड यस, एट द सेम टाइम दिस थ्योरी स्टेट्स दैट a country has a competitive advantage in the goods in which its relatively labor productive is higher than its trading partner and tries to export this goods. That means whosoever the product is labor productive, जो भी product एक labor productive होगा वो ज्यादा beneficiary होगा उस particular country के लिए. Now, there are the assumptions for the Ricardian model. The very first assumption of the Ricardian model is what labor is the only primary input of the production. As we discussed in the previous slide also, this theory states that when the country is labor productive, then they have the ability to get a higher advantage. That means एक अगर दो countries similar resources के साथ अगर एक प्रोडक्ट को बना रहे हैं, so there must be a difference in the labor utilized in that particular production of goods. So labor productivity के basis पर एक country अपने product को differentiate कर सकती है. So that is why it's a first assumption that labor is the primary input. Second, the relative ratio. Ratio is going to define the goods to be traded and with which price. That means that is price and trading capacity is all calculated on the basis of labor productivity. So that means this theory is working on the labor productivity concept. Now, Ricardo basically concludes that, or the conclusion was basically given, that trade between the countries was not dominated by cost of production. It is basically dominated by labor, जो कि अभी हम डिस्कस कर रहे थे कि लेबर प्रोडक्टिविटी होने की वजह से ये पूरी थ्योरी जो है वो एक लेबर कॉन्सेप्ट से डोमिनेट की जाती है. इसमें कॉस्ट ऑफ प्रोडक्शन की डोमिनेंस इतनी ज्यादा नहीं होती. एंड यस, एट द सेम टाइम द डिफरेंस इन द इंटरनल प्राइस स्ट्रक्चर इज नॉट एज इफेक्टिव. यानी कि वी हैव टू कंसीडर कि कंट्री एक्स के अंदर प्राइस स्ट्रक्चर क्या है, कंट्री वाई के अंदर प्राइस स्ट्रक्चर क्या है, बट ये इतना ज्यादा इफेक्टिव नहीं होता है. सो दैट मीन्स Ricardo conclude that trade is basically not as affected by cost of production and internal price structure. Now, when it comes to generate the value of utilization in the same context is not as essential, but value is used from value in exchange. That means जो value utility का concept है वो इतना ज़्यादा उस पर इफेक्ट नहीं डालता है, but that doesn't means that it is not going to be considered. It is going to be considered, but not as in a very effective manner, because with the help of utility concept we can't be entered into the measurement concept of in that particular theory. इस particular theory में हम utility measurements में नहीं आ पाते हैं, because again it's in a labor concept or labor productivity theory. Now, Ricardian theory of trade is basically have a few subtopics. The subtopics are labor theory of value, autarky equilibrium, absolute advantage versus competitive advantage, free trade and gain from the trade, and terms of trade. Now, the very first we will going to discuss is labor theory of value. Labor theory of value is basically stating that the labor, whether indirect labor or direct labor, they are required for the production of goods. वो गुड्स जो हम लोग इंटरनेशनल लेवल पर ट्रेड करने जा रहे हैं. सो इन दैट केस वी हैव टू काउंट आवर लेबर इन दैट. And yes, with the help of that labor theory, we will actually going to translate this into the money terms, that is into the relative labor and capital cost. Then other is rent is the price determined, not price determinations. Yes, that is what rent which we will going to utilize in that particular theory we will going to be considered. Now, this is basically defining the production possibilities of two different countries. Suppose for example, the country X is good in producing the clothes, and yes, at the same time country Y is good in producing the wheat. Now, the 100 is the optimal production of country X and 60 is the optimal production of a country Y for that wheat and cloth respectively. Now, the point C is stating that this is the optimal price, or we can say that this is the optimum level in which a country X can exchange their goods with country Y with the optimal level of W. That is shows the equilibrium part, that where is that equilibrium is attached. So that is what basically stating that X unit of cloth can be transferred with the Y unit of or W unit of wheat. So that is what the production possibilities of wheat, and with that point we create a curve that is P. Now this is the frontier of production possibility curve. That frontier basically state that P is that optimum level in which that transaction is occurred. That P1 is the inefficient choice of that production. That means if the production level is lower than particular P point, then it's P1 which is not countable, and yes, P2 comes into that production point which is can't be reached, which is out of reach of that particular production curve. Now the second concept in this Ricardian theory is the autarky equilibrium. Autarky equilibrium, or this concept is basically stating that self-sufficiency. Autarky states that when the country is self-sufficient of using that product, then only the country is going to transfer that particular product. That is what the autarky. That means no trade would be taken place even it were permitted when the product is not sufficient for country in itself. यानी कि अगर इंटरनली ही अगर डिमांड और सप्लाई मैचअप नहीं हो रहे हैं, या ये कह लीजिए कि डिमांड बहुत ज्यादा है और सप्लाई शॉर्ट है, तो उस केस में एक कंट्री जो है किसी भी तरीके की एक्सपोर्ट इंपोर्ट्स में नहीं आएंगे. सो दैट्स कम्स इनटू द autarky equilibrium. When a trade cannot be done in the autarky equilibrium, when the producer will seek to maximize the profit, first thing. Second, consumer will seek for the maximum utilization. जब एक प्रोड्यूसर मैक्सिमम प्रॉफिट चाहता है या कंज्यूमर जब मैक्सिमम यूटिलाइजेशन चाहता है, तभी हम ऑटार्की इक्विलिब्रियम में ये बोल सकते हैं कि यस, ट्रेड इज नॉट ट्रेड इज बेसिकली एब्सेंट और ट्रेड इज नॉट प्रेजेंट. दिस इज व्हाट the opportunity cost of autarky related price, that basically state that how the autarky is worked in. autarky related price कैसे डील होते हैं एक इकोनॉमी के अंदर when it comes to consider the home countries and the foreign countries. Now, absolute advantage and comparative advantage. This is basically discussing about the two different theories. Absolute advantage theory is basically states that the country is full-fledged in having their maximum production in the economy. That means the absolute advantage can be done when an economy is producing a more of that product in the economy. यानी कि एक कंट्री जब कैपेबल होती है एक प्रोडक्ट की मैक्सिमम प्रोडक्शन के लिए, उसको एब्सोल्यूट एडवांटेज थ्योरी बोलते हैं. यानी कि वो एक बहुत अच्छी प्रोडक्शन उस पर्टिकुलर प्रोडक्ट की कर सकती है. दैट वुड बी डिपेंड ऑन द टेक्नोलॉजीज और द रिसोर्सेज अवेलेबल इन दैट पर्टिकुलर country. That is absolute advantage. Same as the competitive advantage is talking about that country is producing that particular product in a very lower price comparative to the other countries. This is competitive advantage. That is why the Ricardian theory is basically stating the competitive advantage and considering that the competitive advantage is the essential part of economy and absolute is the part just to support it. Now, the free trade and gains from the trades. When we're talking about free trade equilibrium is basically stating that when there was no restrictions to have a trade in that particular economy, that's comes into free trade equilibrium. That means that when the two countries that differ in the terms of relative product like home and foreign countries, but they have no restrictions to enter it. So that's comes into free trade equilibrium. And specialization in free trade. Free trade and specialization are the two concepts which is introduced in this theory that basically state that it is what a very gaining and advantaged part when a company or a country have a specialized product and they have a free trade, that there is no restriction and they are specialized. So that's comes into the specialization and free trade. Now, there are certain criticisms in the Ricardian theory. Yes, this theory is a classical theory and a very first base of international trade. So there are certain defects, or we can say that the criticisms of Ricardian theory. The very first criticism of Ricardian theory is restrictive model. Yes, they are basically restricted to two countries and two commodities only. So that is what the restrictive model first. Second is labor theory of value. They are giving a more emphasis and more on the labor productivity concept, and yes, value of goods and services in the real world is expressed in the monetary terms. So that was the another criticism of this. Third is full employment. They assume that on that particular product, on the production of that particular product, the fully consumption or full employment was done, but that may not possible in the real scenarios. Then another is demand is ignored. Yes, that means that demand is not emphasized at that level because it is not counted on a very available level. For example, I am mentioning that being a part of that country or being an exporter of that country, I am good in producing the X product. So in that case, my country is good in competitive advantage or probably in the absolute advantage. Now, what if the product have a demand in the outside market, or I'm able to fulfill that demand on the internal market? So that is demand is somewhere ignored, and each country specialized in the construction of the commodity based on its competitive advantage only. Then another is mobility of the factor of production. Yes, the mobility factor is one of the concern. They considered that labor can be mobile from one country to another, one industry to another industry. Then another is no free trade. There is no restrictions. Free trade was considered to make the international trade easy. So in that case, no free trade was considered. But in a real practice, there are restrictions in the international trade. So this is another criticism. Then complete specialization. That is assuming that one of the another assumption in this theory is that the whole country is specialized in producing one product, or they were specialized in one and not on the other. So in that case, in a real practice, it may not happen. So that's comes into complete specialization concept. Then another is constant return of scales. That is what assuming that return of scales are constant, and yes, constant cost of production in both the countries. So this assumptions leads to the certain criticism of Ricardian model. So yes, this is all about for the today's session. Thank you so much for this session.